Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Deplorable Batcave podcast. I'm your host, Spartacus, and with me tonight are our returning deplorables rising from the phoenix from the depths of the internet.
One thing to say to you.
Joining me from left to right is the Deplorable Macoptera.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
I thought you were going to be in the...
Next up we have
No, I told you I
Miles.
wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man,
Should
I'm totally not Morty. But yeah. Hey.
Next chap on the left. I really hate the scrunching in the name. The beginner, the beggar.
Beggar Hero.
Beggar hero. That you? Okay.
Yeah, hooroo.
Yeah, bro. Awesome sauce.
Wait, hi. The nose is speaking part in this one.
Z.
Extreme Meme Dream Team Activate.
Frightening rape face avatar.
Oh my god.
Okay. And with that lineup, we shall begin. Today we're only got 4 topics to go into today, gentlemen. It's been a slow news week because everything's pretty much a repeat of the last couple of weeks. So only 4 topics of interest to discuss. The way the show works for those joining us for the first time, I introduce a topic, I give it to the floor for discussion and clarification. We wring as much out of it as we can before we move on to the next topic, and we try to keep this around an hour in length. Towards the end, if I can, while checking Twitter, I will see if I can find anything for our hashtag win or hashtag cringe roundup. So, we're going to start with something fun. We're going to talk about North Korea about to get royally fucked.
Oh yeah.
Prepare the lube, gentlemen. The floor is yours. Discuss away.
So what we're saying is North Korea is going to take Un for the team?
Well,
Hey, China, do you mind if we take your parking lot?
I think it's going to be more than a parking lot, gentlemen. I think the sad thing is I think China's going to go after him, too, because they want that coal.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's actually better. Actually, it's like, hey, China, how about you just, invade and kill everyone in the government? It's not like they can stop you. It's not like anyone's going to care.
Yeah, honestly, it's really more not whether or not the U.S. can actually get Trump's support from China. It's entirely based on whether or not China is just not going to interfere with the U.S.
I love the idea of invading a sovereign nation.
Yeah, me too. I think that's never been a mistake in the past. It's something that we should definitely rush into without much thought.
It gets me hard at night.
Well, remember, we're only going up a magical god who talks and swims with dolphins and doesn't poop. Glorious Reader is a god, after all.
Didn't he write something insane like 1.25 million like military strategy novels, like according to like the actual like propaganda that they listen to there?
Hella fun.
North Korea just landed a man on the sun.
Yeah, that. I actually read.
It turned out that it was Glorious Reader himself using a rocket that he designed and built. And
oh yeah, totally. I actually read Pyongyang, which is a graphic novel by Guy DeLazy, which is all about this guy he's a graphic novel and he gets a job in North Korea, in like the main city of Pyongyang. It's just he's basically explaining.
I think you mean Pyongyang. You fucking racist.
Oh yes, totally. But he does explain it in like a really cynical way of some of like the really hilarious propaganda that's over there. The book ends up like falling off the face of the map by the end of it, but like the first bit is really good.
Yeah. I think when it comes right down to it, it's something which we can joke about. I mean, they banned sarcasm in North Korea, so like it's obviously an if there was ever a place where Kyrgyzstanis were oppressed.
Oh, so we have to.
I mean that's fantastic. Banning sarcasm. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
I can't think of a single thing about banning sarcasm.
What isn't banned in North Korea? This is a country where if the great leader statue has a bird poop on it, someone is going to die.
Well,
That's kind of the kind of regime they have there.
Well, I mean, it's
the
like,
bird is executed to 3 generations.
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
But okay, let's put it this way. So we need to invade to liberate our ethnic Kekistani brothers and sisters. Then.
Yes. I say we.
You guys realize, right, that there's probably only one of them?
Yeah.
Like a single one who's the same guy who like trolls on 4chan and like also has a fucking Steam account.
Hashtag all Keks matter.
Mm-hmm.
If there's going to be a singular Kyrgyzstani citizen who's like remaining from the last of the fucking Korean Kyrgyzstani genocide, it's got to be that one guy in Pyongyang.
I say we just displace all of the North Koreans to put the Kyrgyzstanis in their rightful homeland.
Of North Korea.
I say we put all the currently existing North Koreans directly into their already existing fucking Holocaust centers.
Ethnic Kyrgyzstanis have suffered under Normal oppression for long enough.
It'll just become fucking Israel Part 2.
Yeah, I mean North Korea is like the more
Actually, speaking of
Jerusalem.
acquiring land for our glorious Kyrgyzstan and for our prophet Pepe, peace be upon him.
Yeah, I mean it's perfect because like the server lag for Japanime is going to be so small there. Like the anime rate is going to be so happy to be so close to their homeland.
But anyway, there's this section of land. I believe it's it's between Egypt and Sudan. That's just this no man's zone that is literally neither country wants to claim it, and some guys over on the Kyrgyzstani subreddit want to claim it, and they've been like trying to contact both embassies and like, hey, we want to claim this land as like there's a joke, an inside joke. Yeah, it's a really shit piece of land, seeing as it's literally landlocked. There's no water anywhere except for the Red Sea, which is far enough away. It's literally in a fucking desert. It's also on a mountain range as well from the looks of like the Google Maps imagery, but hey, we want it for ourselves.
I mean, if you were like that is the homeland of ethnic Kyrgyzstan.
Let's focus back on North Korea because that's what they want.
Corporate overlords are cracking the whip.
North Korea, our government's going to do whatever it wants, and it doesn't matter who we elect. I think Trump has pretty much shown that. I mean, he's 180 on pretty much everything, so Trump is just going to look at all of his neocon friends and the rest of the military-industrial complex and go, what do we do about this? And then whatever they say is going to happen.
Well,
so
since you brought that up, we might as well, since we diverted from North Korea into possibly establishing the Democratic People's Republic of Kyrgyzstan.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, it still works.
I know it still works.
The DPRK.
I know, that's why I used it. But
a nation of ethnic shit posters.
Exactly. But we can use that to segue into the next topic. There's theories abound that Trump has been compromised by the deep state.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm gonna say partially compromised. I'm not gonna go full fucking Alex Jones or whatever, but I'm gonna say he's been partially compromised on some important issues.
Well, just with Ivanka's and and Trump's in-laws, that's probably pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
There's I believe it was Dave Cullen, Computing Forever, who produced a video, and by the end of it, he put out a personal theory that especially since the you know the clip of him talking about the quote unquote chemical this attack in this in Syria. He kind of has that, like, normally in basically everything, and this is just kind of a fact of his personality, that he's really confident, really outgoing, in basically everything that he does. But for that one clip, he almost seems to have a gun pointed at his head, figuratively speaking.
Maybe literally.
He probably literally too. But he still does all the hand gestures, and he still has the same similar accent, but his tone is entirely different. And there's some speculation that might actually just be because there's a gun pointed to his head.
I'm getting Bush all over again here. I mean, I feel like he was about to say, President al-Assad has weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, so feel free to
When it
jump
comes to
in
this,
when you
I'm
want.
not saying it's going to turn into another Iraq, but still, he's won aid on Syria super hard. I mean, throughout all of his campaign, he was like, bombing Syria is a bad idea. We should get out of Syria. Syria, that's a bad move. And then,
Well, actually, I can kind of justify it because it's one of those instances where it can actually work out as a game of 4D chess, but it's more of a couple of other things, notably
has
the
he done
simple
more
fact
than
of
cruise
the
missiles?
change in tone, along with the line of should, I believe it was either CIA or the FBI.
this isn't Grand Theft Auto.
Playing too much GTA 5. The Bureau. Should they go after Julian Assange? He's in total support of it, which was completely different from the line that he said, I just love WikiLeaks.
Yeah, I know.
During his
Yeah, I will say, it's like, you should thank Julian Assange with your freaking knees. I mean, he's one of the reasons why you got elected.
Turn him into the modern day prophet.
Yeah, pretty much. Prophet Assange.
At one moment, Z wanted to comment. Z, what do you got?
I was just gonna say that I think it's almost absolutely like I saw that same Dave Cullen video, and I think if not, he's being persuaded by his daughter and son-in-law, which is very probable a factor. I think the fact that he has a large family and threats can be made, and the man can resist a lot, but man, choosing between those, especially when it's the emotional, tether of the daughter asking for these things versus, I guess I didn't realize that, I should have thought that might have been a security hole for him, but the fact that, he does have a family, and if he can't be manipulated, his children can be, and then they can manipulate, dearest daddy. So I think I would argue that the compromise narrative is very, very true. Of course, I kind of thought the compromise would eventually happen. Little sad it happened so quickly, but I think it's happening.
They had to act quickly, or they weren't going to be able to stop it.
Well, it also
there's another way to read this though, and that is currently Trump really wants one thing done, and that's getting the wall, right? So he's maybe making these moves, these gestures, to get his support all in all his ducks in a row, and get his wall built, because that was one of his biggest promises. And as just sort of like, I'm not gonna say 4D chess, but like as a he's a businessman. He knows that he can't get everything that he wants without giving the other.
Yeah, he can't just step over everybody, and
so it might just be like I'm doing this sort of, and it looks like, I'm helping out the neocons, throwing all these guys a bone who I don't like, you don't like, his voting base generally doesn't like. But if it helps him to get his wall done, and he can otherwise stay true to his principles, and after the wall is built or after the wall is funded, if he can go back to business as usual, the sort of person he got in the first 50 days.
So throw them the bone that is Syria, then work on everything else.
Yeah, if what he does gets the wall built, then I'd say mission success, right?
One thing that the Syrian strike did do is now no one is saying that Trump is a Russian puppet anymore.
No, people are still
that's
saying
kind of where
that.
People are still saying that it doesn't have any water anymore.
People, but let's just say who it's Louise Mensch, really.
Yep. It's the Russians, though. She's like the next McCarthy. Have you guys realized that?
Well, the thing is, McCarthy was absolutely right. We need another McCarthy.
Well, my personal thought is, especially with the do you mind? Or do you want to go first? Or?
No, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah, like my personal, and it's kind of a headcanon, but it really for me is one of those things that it's a little bit of persuasion from, especially seeing as he isn't a career politician, so he isn't too knowledgeable on a lot of politics. So it wouldn't surprise me if he kind of has a couple of devils on his shoulder, kind of going, suggesting him in the form of Ivanka on one side and Pence on the other. But at least with this does seem to me more of a mixture of either his speech was pretty sincere, or it was entirely 4D chess, where he came off as, where especially seeing as like the Chinese president or prime minister, the leader of China, was in his estate at the time, and they were all having a huge meeting at the time, that he launched the strike. There was also it gets the media off his back, both on somewhat siding with him, because right around that time there's a whole bunch of media saying, hey, we need to immediately go strike back at Assad. There was also, of course, that kills the Russian collusion stuff, and it also gets rid of a whole bunch of really old armaments. So basically, new proper GPS-guided cruise missiles can come in that are actually worth it, not the shitty, probably, I believe they were like 40-year-old cruise missiles.
So
Go ahead and fake news me on that, but I mean still.
So 4D chess, multiple things being pulled off with overkill on an empty base.
Yeah. Well, actually, it did kill like 7, but and all the Russians were gone. It was all Syrian soldiers.
Well, at least there's one after that. And one
Like, the
Russian soldier
Syrian
killed.
news says that there were like lots of casualties and like, oh, this is a terrible atrocity, but like the number is very wildly.
59 cruise missiles, 7 people died. He was just offloading missiles and making it a show of force then.
Yeah, and it didn't even take out the actual airbase itself.
Yep.
Okay. Next topic we have, we're moving way too quick here, and we don't have a whole lot to work with.
I can talk about internet privacy for a couple hours if you want to fill time.
We've also got the bullshit stuff.
What's next, Daddy-O?
I can also talk about Mr. Robot and why it's the greatest show ever made.
We could talk really quickly about Wendy's.
Actually, that'll be something I'll be bringing up in a bit. But next topic that we have for actual discussion is the French elections. Round one.
Round one Macron.
Macaroni.
Especially what I find really interesting is how Sargon's whole thing is.
Sargon has officially declared.
He's officially become a political activist at this point.
He really has.
On it.
Yeah. Like those last few videos, that was just outright political activism.
And also,
meme jihad.
He's declared meme jihadi. He is a meme jihadi.
He is the leader of Kekistan.
Pretty much.
Right down to politics.
Actually, wasn't he the first of the big YouTubers that usually associated with it to actually, name it?
No,
yeah, well, the thing was
that to you the history of Kekistan.
Yeah, he was kind of the guy who turned like this kind of like inside joke into this thing where he basically turned it into a tool for himself to use as
you see,
as like identity politics for people who hate identity politics.
Yeah,
that was the whole inside joke.
This was one of the drunk streams with Kakalevi, Dr. Lehman, and Sargon, and they were talking about how they should make like an ironic ethnicity so that they could just make that a thing and have it registered so that they could get affirmative action.
Yeah.
Man, I really hope Generation Z picks up on this when they start going to college.
I mean, especially as a Generation Z myself. Yeah, like I'm only 17 right now, but like even on my student census, which I got like a month ago, because we're doing a student census in the TDSB here in Toronto.
I write that on all of my college surveys.
Both for my race and for my religion. I just put either Kekistan or Cult of Kek.
Yeah. Yes.
And you demand to basically be let off class on Mondays because like I have to go en masse.
I'm not at that stage to like making the weird excuses for like strange shit to see how much I could get away with because I kind of want to get a diploma by the end of the year.
Ask for your lunch hour to be lengthened by 1.5 minutes. Because your Kekistani heritage dictates that you cannot have an even number for the amount of time you spend consuming food.
Okay, but so French elections.
Yeah.
It was actually, considering everybody said that Le Pen was going to be blown out of the water, she was 0.2% behind Macron.
Actually, depending on...
Is there going to be a recount for that?
official.
Yeah, there's actually some. I know there was a survey. I saw it on Twitter. I believe it was Colin Moriarty, the guy who runs Colin's Last Stand. He posted a tweet that showed that actually Le Pen was slightly in the lead, I believe, or like really close instead of being trailing behind.
Like I said, 0.2%, I believe, according to the official numbers. It was less than 1%.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I'll try to
just
find
too
it.
close to call. A lot of people say that she'll probably lose in the second ballot.
But my thing is, immediately before the elections, those 500,000 double ballots went out.
Oh yeah.
So the question becomes,
Two places that pretty much all of them ripped down Le Pen's poster at their polling place.
So just this isn't for me, but for anyone who's watching this who may be not as informed, does anyone want to give a quick TLDR of the French election? Because I think that
basically Le Pen is Donald Trump, who is literally a Nazi and should be immediately removed from all positions of power.
So like,
versus globalist, who is a complete shithead.
Yeah, but versus basically a globalist yes man. Oh, yeah, EU's great. I sure like the EU. EU great. No such thing as terrorism.
I'm totally not getting money from like one of the biggest banking conglomerates ever, because that was literally my first job, because I'm totally not in love with money.
Nope, EU's great. Sure love the EU.
Oh yeah, let's just bring in some of those immigrants. We just got to those terrorist attacks though. Oh, those are just a daily occurrence we kind of have to deal with, man.
Yep,
you just have to deal with
daily life.
Okay, so if you want basically
the common meandering of the peasants does not concern a statesman such as myself.
Okay, so just a very brief explanation. So the French election system, unlike in the United States where generally we only have two candidates who are viable, they had a very large field, which means that they go into a second ballot.
Yeah, in this case they had 5 candidates, and then they split it down to 2.
That's actually something I'm jealous of France.
So Le Pen and Macron,
system.
Le Pen being French Hitler, and Macron being, I don't know, like
French
rice paper. I can't even describe his personality. He's not Merkel, because he's not like the Grand Chancellor of the
he's not Reich. Yeah, he's not Daddy Macaroni.
No, he's more like who was Hillary Clinton's running mate?
Question. Everybody forgot about it. Nobody liked him. Nobody liked him.
Yeah, Tim Kaine. He's pretty much Tim Kaine. He is that much of a nothing. He was just like yep, he was great.
Actually, so it's a question of if the French will be too scared of like because he's so milquetoast. It's a question of if the French will be too scared of Le Pen.
So we're afraid that the French are going to be too French.
Given that they are French, I'm not holding my breath.
Well, if they do actually elect Macron, then I'm just going to shrug every time a terrorist attack happens. Just going like, whatever. You had a chance to do something about it. But
yeah, well, the thing is for me at this point, basically every terrorist attack in a country that hasn't at least attempted at some extent of closing their borders to mass unvetted immigration is entirely the fault of the current leader, who is spouting the this is all normal. This is completely okay.
The dogma then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shanghai has as many terrorist attacks as Paris. Because it's just what happens in any global city, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. Yeah, especially here in Toronto. I mean, we have totally the most aggressive terrorists in the world.
You're Canadian. The terrorists in Canada probably say,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Let's
They
rephrase.
knock over trash cans.
But
they put them back up and pick up the trash
cans and trash cans and trash dumpers are Antifa's worst enemy after the Nazis.
Oh man, I can't wait till they come here, because all of our because the way that especially after like some minor bombings and like some weird concerns of bombings, like basically all of our trash cans are either like these weird plastic bins or like completely exposed trash things that are all bolted into the ground.
Terrorism in Canada is basically someone not saying A after a sentence. Like,
Alright.
come on.
but going
This is
back
Canada we're talking about
going
here.
back on going back on topic, relevant side story. I got this from the Geller report, if anybody's familiar with it, because I'm not. French mayor fined for too many Muslim children comments.
What the fuck?
Robert Menard, the mayor of Béziers, I believe it's pronounced, Béziers, whatever. There's a problem with immigration in my city. 54.6% of children in kindergartens and primary schools are Muslims. 60, just round it up, 65% of kids at that young of age are Muslim.
Yeah.
In a non-Muslim country at the moment.
Well, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem right now. French Europeans aren't fucking too much, and they're not having children.
Yeah, Muslim families are always like huge. It's like 4 or 5 kids.
Yeah.
So pretty much.
I can actually kind of relate to a lot of the shit that's going on in Europe because here in Canada, we actually kind of had our own mini version of what's currently going on like mad in Europe. There's a really shitty Wikipedia article, but it's usually, but it gives enough of a decent synopsis that basically breaks it down. It happened with the Hungarian Roma population, where they're basically claiming that they were refugees, even though they really weren't. They're more of just, hey, we want money. This country is willing to give us money. Let's go there. And the thing was that this is literally like just down the street from me, where all this shit happened. It was all, at least from what happened to here, it was like literally a single apartment building, a single school, and anybody who, and like a single high school as well, all in that area that were completely fucked for 4 years until eventually the Canadian government, from what I remember, they basically said, we'll give $5,000 per family that goes back, and we're also going to change the laws so basically any country that has a democratically elected system is under our safe countries policies. So, you know, we're not going to accept refugees from these places. And that's how they ended up sorting out the problem.
How long ago was that? Because I can't imagine it's probably the case under Trudeau. I love brown people so much.
Okay,
that was in 2011.
2011?
Yeah.
Trudeau scares the ever-loving shit out of me because I remember that video where he was in a mosque with 2 of his...
Oh, yeah, that shit. Oh, my God.
Where he was in a mosque and 2 of his female cabinet members, because, you know, half of them have to be female because it's current year. But, but they were forced to cover up and be, you know, put to the side. And he looked around at all the Muslims and all the women being fully covered up, and he had this light of a fanatic.
And then he went, and he just went on this dumbass speech. Yeah, but the worst part is
how happy he was to see all this diversity.
But you want to know what the worst part about that is? The Rebel Media, they actually challenged him during a questioning period outside of on Parliament Hill in our big building on that's surprisingly not burnt down, unlike your guys' White House. Yeah, that's an inside joke.
This is from the War of 1812, if you don't realize.
Where basically they asked, where the one of the guys who was from Rebel Media, they really heavily challenged him on that, and they gave him such a perfect opportunity to basically go, yeah, I didn't know that this was going to happen, and I didn't want to come off as rude and just go and just went along with it, even though I didn't want that to happen. If I knew that this was going to happen beforehand, and especially the links to the fact that this mosque has links to Al-Qaeda and ISIS, I would not have gone. But because it was just that in that instance there, I just played along and played nice, but won't do it again. But instead he went, oh yeah, Canada is such a diverse country, and where I'm just going to completely just dismiss this question entirely. And that was basically it.
Yeah,
really lame.
It really is. It's just like these freaking progressives don't freaking understand Islam. Like, you thought social conservatives are overbearing? You have no fucking idea. Once you get the numbers, they're going to be like, okay, we demand that homosexuality be illegalized. And then they'll be like, but diversity will freaking kill you. And we're jihadists. We're not fucking around about it. We're not like Antifa. We're not gonna go. We're gonna slightly bash you over the head. Oh no, scary fight back. It's my magic sky deity will reward me if I take your head off with this knife.
I think you're being a bit hyperbolic there.
Probably a bit hyperbolic, yeah, but still.
The thing is,
That's going to happen. It's already kind of happening in Malaysia right now.
I think that you're exaggerating.
Diverging state.
I personally think that you're going a little too far with that one, but yeah, that's just my opinion.
Although, to be fair, I think I'd rather have the old Bible thumpers back, because at least their crazy is old school crazy.
Yeah, at least their crazy is just kind of like pathetic, but I mean, it's kind of old. It's a little bit
we need to put prayer back in schools and celebrate Christmas. I mean, that's what they are right now.
No, guys. There's literally a guy up my street who still has like those fucking annoying Christmas is about Christ stuff, and it's just like, oh man.
Well,
that's the thing that I find annoying.
He's technically not wrong, but at the same time.
Yeah, like, but technically saying is where the holiday came out of.
But anyway, all right, so
like how you want to celebrate the holiday is entirely dependent on how you want to do it.
Are we getting anything else out of this topic? French election.
So, the French, right? I mean, what's with the blue uniforms? That never made sense to me.
It was fleur de lis.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're getting all out of this topic.
I'm curious. What do you mean by you don't get the blue uniforms?
During the First World War, the French wore these gaudy blue uniforms, so they were really easy to spot on the battlefield.
Oh, they're French.
Well, that was the First World War. There was a whole bunch of weird stuff that was going on in the First World War because no one's fought a war like that before. And
it was a transition period from swords, melee, and muskets to actual automatic fire.
It was
where basically everybody
went do infantry charge into machine gun fire. Oh, that didn't work. We'll do it again, and again, and again, and then that's when that was the war that taught everyone: hey, barbed wire machine gun and machine guns, you don't do an infantry charge against that unless you have tanks.
So yeah, that was basically the war that showed that nobody knew how to fight a war at that time. Anyway, so we're going to move on to the last topic I currently have available. We're going back to Berkeley.
Damn it!
Wait, wasn't...
Can't stop. Ant culture talk was canceled at Berkeley.
And then somehow reinstated, and then what is the current story on it now?
It's canceled.
Okay.
Again.
It's Berkeley.
The thing is, it was canceled by the people that were going to be hosting it and not by the university itself.
Yeah, because they got terrified.
Yeah, but they pushed out.
Yeah. I know at some point or another, didn't she get like some type of like basically the university wanted her to like pay an extreme amount of money or a whole bunch of other stuff, and rather than
basically they were going to pull another Milo. They did the same thing to the Milo.
Well, if anyone watched I think the press hearing on the YAF attorneys, they mentioned a secret policy that was only being happened to conservative speakers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then, I mean, there was like Vicente Fox and a couple other progressives that came during that time, and they only did it to the conservative speakers and Coulter and Milo.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just Mizzou that place, you know?
I say pull off federal funding.
Berkeley
I mean, if you're going to act this way, then it's like, okay, you can go beg for your funds somewhere. You shouldn't be taking taxpayer dollars. If you're going to
aren't they already charging something insane like $40,000 per semester or something?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's one of the most. I don't know if it's one of, like the most expensive, but it is definitely one of the most. It's one of the best colleges in the country. I think it's like the 4th best college in the United States.
Yes, it's probably like one of the top 20s, but nothing like top 10.
And an interesting side note about the whole Ann Coulter situation. The ACLU's coming down on the side of Ann Coulter.
Yeah, finally they got rid of the hibernation policy that they've been going under.
Uh-huh.
Although we have the movie Blob popping his fat head out of it.
Oh, who even cares about what he says? Does anyone even listen to what he says? I haven't heard his name in a while.
Well,
he's a pretty good locale.
retweeted his tweet. in response to it, of course. Basically, they're saying that the Berkeley protests were not a veto, but also free speech.
So bashing people over the head with bike locks is free speech now.
Yep.
It
Cool.
is, of course.
So
I can't wait. I can't wait till conservatives go, hey, now we can play this game. Next time I see, I don't know, an LGBT speaker, I'm gonna throw a firebomb into his car.
Actually, what I can't wait for is Sigmund's Army. I don't remember what it's called now, but to do basically rather than show up completely unarmed.
Your audio's gone to shit, bro.
Oh, really?
Well, just,
now it's good.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I guess
Same
you
thing
have.
about Stickman.
Yeah, my internet, my upload speed is not that great.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, basic Sigmund's Army.
It's bad.
Rather than showing up with, unarmed, just casual like they did with the last Berkeley protests, instead just have a small group of people who's just there to kind of support the speakers there, and just like anybody who just shows up, and then basically be sitting on the sidelines just, a few blocks away in a couple coffee shops or whatever, waiting until Antifa shows up, and then just wait until the cops go, and then just basically literally be a civil army.
Well,
with guns and shit.
Well, just
with kings and shit.
Guns.
You were saying?
Yeah.
Proceed. Don't let the silence happen here.
Because I know at some point or another it's going to escalate to that extreme.
Well, considering that, Antifa's really pushing their credit card knives. I mean, really pushing them.
Okay, a credit card knife. I'm going to be honest, okay? You're going to cut your hands.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Like,
those
people who don't know how knives work. Like,
all right, have you seen those things?
Yeah, I have, and yeah, if in a knife fight, it's like that's not for self-defense. That's for probably just cutting like cheese or something. Like
yeah, and like opening apples.
I use that sort of
opening
thing,
up
like,
things.
to cut fish
If you're
out.
using it, it's sharp as fuck.
If you've ever handled a blade, the handle will slide in your hand when you're striking things with it.
You're going to do more damage to yourself because a human actually has a significant amount of resistance.
Well, the fact.
Yeah, like even owning a flip knife in that situation is just like immediately better. Like a $30 flip knife is better than those like $50 credit card knives.
Well, either way, they're pushing it just because they're easy to hide.
Yeah.
Like I can hide my flip knife like up my sleeve.
Well, this will be able to be hidden in a wallet. That's why they're. Although that makes it harder to get to, which makes no damn sense. But
yeah. And then you can also have your wallet stolen as well.
So, but the fact is, they're pushing these knives, and they're saying this isn't for self-defense. You're to use them on Nazis. They're with the intent to be used on people.
I will say that the effectiveness of credit card knives also depends on what kind of wallet you have.
Yeah.
If you have a wallet like mine, it's really easy to access my cards.
Yeah, same.
Like, I reach in my pocket and I can pull out any one of my credit cards if I need to. So it's without actually taking out my wallet. So it's in a different sense. It's actually really easy to get to my knives if I have to. Makes sense.
Well, yeah, and then just with Antifa, like it's sort of funny how there's an anti-mask law in California, and the police aren't enforcing that.
Well, and they're perfect. Apparently, most of the people arrested at Battle of Berkeley 4 were, I don't know if this was confirmed or not, but apparently it was mostly Trump supporters that got arrested.
Yeah, I know. They weren't wearing masks. So the cops are just going after who they could identify, and like, oh, we can see his face. Let's nab him. And also the chief of police is, it's actually mostly the mayor. He's friends with Banff.
Yeah. After Sargon's video, wow, that is one of the creepiest organizations ever now.
Yeah, they need to be removed from the equation completely. They need to be completely and utterly removed. Their organization.
Yeah, I'm surprised their investigation bureaus, both the CIA and the FBI, haven't actually gone after Banff.
because
or
they're
Ben.
total idiots. Remember?
Yeah, true. Or at least
Well-
the cops have been. I mean, it is Berkeley, so they're going to be sucking their dicks.
Well, I mean, this is just sort of like there hasn't been really a left-wing group that hasn't committed a lot of terrorism since 60s now.
That's all Antifa is. It's a terrorist organization by definition.
Yeah, well, I'm agreeing with the terrorists, but like I certainly recall the 60s. There was the Weather Underground, and then I don't really recall any other groups within the 60s to 90s.
Like, I mean, probably if I remember
Black
correctly.
Panthers.
Oh yeah, Black
yeah.
Panthers. But probably I believe a few feminist organizations. I don't quite remember. And feel free to fake news me on that, but yeah.
Possible, but again, I don't have access to all the knowledge of the universe at the moment. So
Yes, you do.
You did you draw the circle thing?
Yeah, draw the circle.
Draw the circle, and then you have all the knowledge in the universe.
Who's there on that piece of paper?
And then make sure to fill in the full circle, and then you have all the knowledge.
But
Yep.
so right now we have literal terrorist organizations just roaming America unchecked.
And the problem is that they keep on trying to get into this situation where they want to kind of form a hierarchy, so that way they're somewhat organized. But anytime that they do so, they immediately shoot it down.
Because
So it leads to these really pathetic protests.
It's just a matter of time before one of them is nuts enough to grab a gun and actually start going like, "I'm going to kill all the Nazis," and then what?
well, the irony is they're mostly anti-gun, so it's going to take a while for it to come to that point.
Yeah, it is.
And we'll see. There's probably going to be one. There's going to be one crazy enough to going and like some principles have to be set aside to kill Nazis. Because these are a collection of people that are out of their freaking minds.
Well, before shootings, we're probably going to see stabbings and bludgeonings to death first.
Yeah, we're probably going to see somebody actually die from a bike lock.
Yeah.
Because that video was holy shit.
Yeah, I will
Yes.
say,
I felt that.
I will
Yeah,
say,
especially if you have like a really good quality bike lock like I do. Holy crap, that thing is heavy.
yeah, I used to ride my bike in Seattle a lot to get wherever pretty much, and I had a really nice quality one. Holy shit, dude, those things are fucking heavy duty. They're not to be fucked with.
I mean,
I've got a cheap one, and if I were to swing that thing, I'd break bones.
I mean, seriously, just from watching the video, it's just like you hear the thunk, you feel it.
Yeah, you kind of. I'm surprised that guy didn't come out with a concussion, but it's not surprising.
Well, I mean, it's fucked him open, but
Yeah, it split. He cut his head pretty good.
True.
Well, yeah, and then like most of these guys just like when it's always like when the person not paying attention, then they come at you within the crowd.
yeah, I mean, mob rule, mob tactics, thug tactics.
Mayor's worthless, or mayor's in bed with him.
Well, the
The
sad
chief
thing
is
is,
complete garbage. Because
and everything that the left has been complaining about the police, conservatives have to worry about in Berkeley. Because the police are
Yeah.
completely against them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing as well is like a lot of the cops, I'm fairly certain that they don't actually want to just sit around and jerk off.
Well, we saw at
But
least
it's
one that
orders from
didn't
higher
care.
ups.
We saw at least one that just didn't give a shit.
There's probably a couple who are like actually
Well,
if it
although
wasn't for the fact that they have a day job, that they'd actually be in the crowd. But I know there's like some of the other ones who are just they looked absolutely miserable.
Well, there was that one in the car that was like, yeah.
So
Well, no, that was the one behind him. The one sitting in the car was the one was like, I think he was fuming about not being able to do everything.
yeah, he did look pretty frustrated. Like
The other one, the one that said so, is the one that is just the exemplar of the problem. So people are beating each other in the streets, and
And And also, like, after Goldilocks got punched in the face, and then we pretty much saw every feminist that said, a woman is just as capable as a man, going, you can't punch a woman! You can't do it! Like, yeah, that just goes to show these people are completely full of shit.
Actually, I just
And
had a thought.
also, I think Goldilocks also, like, she was probably told all that stuff, too. It was like, you are just as strong and capable as a man. It's like, no, you're
And then she gets
90-something
sucker punched in
pounds.
the face, yeah.
Who told you should go out and riot?
Well, I believe that it was covered in multiple videos. There wasn't a sucker punch. That was an ongoing fight that took place over several minutes of them getting lost in the crowd, then coming back.
Yeah, it's almost a shame we didn't get much more context.
But although, according to the official statement, she wasn't there. She wasn't throwing bottles. She wasn't being
She
violent.
wasn't doing anything, yeah.
No.
She
What
was-
the official statement was, she was picking up trash.
No, she was obviously lying. She was obviously lying.
No, that's just a blatant lie, but
She was
the
completely
guy-
bullshit.
Well,
Well, I mean, that's
on
according
Thursday.
to the local news person.
Yeah, that's according to the local news, and it was clear that they were
Listen,
trying to
listen.
paint her as a
So
victim.
if you look at
She even
what she
made a
said.
tweet saying, like, I'm going to collect 100 Nazi scalps.
Yeah, we're familiar.
okay, if you look at what she said in that interview, and you look at what happened in those clips, the most charitable you can be, like the most you can give to her, and still be like within reality, is to say that she lied during that. Like that interview contained numerous lies. She lied to the people knowingly during that interview. That is the most charitable you can be.
Yeah. The other thing as well is that it also, especially after some other video evidence and like some like weaponized autism to work to find the guy who punched her. There's like several clips where it looks like both she's clearly running from him and he's clearly going after her, which also brings into the question of his side of the story. Which, if
Actually,
and it wouldn't surprise me if this is the actual case where
didn't some black guy or that guy T sit down with him?
I don't remember.
Somebody did. I think.
Yeah, probably somebody did.
It's
I know his
racist.
Twitter was found, but anyway, and I think it was Matt Christensen who pointed this out, that what's more likely is that, and this is a personal theory again, is that, especially seeing as she had a bunch of wine bottles, she didn't just have the one that was like shown in like several photos of hers, because like one of her Facebook posts was about her
the guy
20% off of the wine that she got, so it wouldn't surprise me if she hit the guy who ended up sucker punching her over the head with a wine bottle.
Okay, so the guy in question, it was Nathan D'Amigo, right?
Yeah, I
that's
think so.
him.
Some black guy had a discussion with him that's over an hour long. It's up on his YouTube channel.
Oh wow, okay.
Discussing
I should
Berkeley
check that
and ethno-nationalism with Nathan D'Amigo. So he might be an alt-right ethno-nationalist.
Well, yeah, he is an alt-right guy.
Yeah, wasn't he with, like, Identity Europa or something?
Yeah, it's that guy. I remember him now.
So basically the same thing is, I believe they follow the same thing as Richard Spencer. Not really violent, but they do believe in racial separation because they think mixing just doesn't work.
Well, it's like the Black Panthers, except it's white people.
Mm-hmm. And it really frustrates the heck out of me, too, with, like, what the left has done. It's just like, you do realize these people are getting a bigger platform because of you.
Well, the thing is, you're
So,
proving
thanks
them,
for that.
actually, if anything, it's not just giving them a platform. You're proving them right.
Exactly. I really hate the fact that the left has been completely taken over by these identity politicians completely. Because now it's like, well, great. Now we have to deal with the incompetency of the freaking Republicans for a while because no one wants to elect you because you're freaking crazy.
Well, okay, the Republican establishment, yeah, they've been fucking used.
They are incompetent as crap. I mean, holy crap, they kept whining and bitching about Obamacare, and then when it was finally time to repeal it, they go, oh, we don't know what we're doing!
Now, when Gen Z...
Garbage.
When Gen Z is the most conservative generation in
I can
generation.
confirm that. Yeah, I can fucking confirm that as
As the kind of millennial who will be leading them.
So yeah, it's more the old guard have completely lost their way. They've lost their vision. They've lost everything. Like Paul Joseph Watson said, and he's right on this too. Conservatism is the new counterculture. This is the new punk metal.
It's punk fucking rock, guys.
Is America a monolithic culture enough to even have a counterculture to anything? I mean,
well, remember back when it was back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the left was counterculture. But now that it's become the dogma for over 30 years, and it's entrenched itself and gotten high off its own success to the point where it's completely gibbering incompetent.
Yeah, whereas in the case for like a lot of schools, and I know Jordan B. Peterson pointed this out, there's actually some interesting news that he's brought up recently as well. But I won't get into that now. But where basically if you don't agree with the leftist dogma that they're putting out, you basically get all your funding cut. And that's what happened to him.
Well, and then some. I mean, okay.
Gender is a spectrum, but your political views are either the right one or the absolute Hitler.
This can work as topic number 5, even though I didn't have one written down, because I guess this will be the end of the pre-planned topics then. Bill Nye, the Science Denier.
Oh yeah, Taco in action's already.
Feeling like when you have your dog, it's been your dog ever since you were a kid, and it hasn't been the same. Kind of like went a little bit senile. Bit the mailman, and now you've got to put the dog down. That's how I feel about Bill Nye.
I mean, next episode? Scientists have proven that white people are more evil than any other ethnicity on the planet. Is he just going to start going through all of them now?
It's like when I heard the new Teen Titans were going to be on, but it's Teen Titans Go, basically.
Yeah, it almost feels as if he's kind of been like cut at the legs.
It's actually more like Ron White saying like, I'm actually going to put down alcohol and tell less offensive jokes. It's just, you just feel freaking sad.
With regards to that, the infamous misogynist, racist and harassing sewer of the internet, Kotaku in action has already put a label up already called Bill Shit. And along with that, Adam Savage has also got onto the
I saw that
on the train as well. And it's pretty sad too, because it's just kind of like, dude, just keep being you, which is like kind of awesome. But
the thing about Adam Savage is, right? He's not Bill Nye wasn't really a scientist either.
Yeah, he's like an engineer, right?
A special effects guy who started this company, MI5, and basically what they did was they made like essentially puppets for things like Nightmare Before Christmas or what's that one called? James and the Giant Peach. So he was like a special effects guy, not really a dyed-in-the-wool scientist. Like, he probably didn't go... I don't think he went to university studying a science.
Well, mechanical engineering.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, he has a degree. He does have a degree in mechanical engineering.
Well,
I am the arbiter of what is science. Wait a minute.
Everything else is fake news.
Well, the thing is, I remember the original Bill Nye the Science Guy. It was more, this is how this works. This is how, stuff interacts. Basic intro to science.
And kind of brought. Yeah, well, the other thing as well is that it was really shown for like a child-friendly audience. It was explaining things in ways that kids could easily understand.
Oh wow, we're gonna have some crazy cunt do slam poetry saying that gender is a spectrum. Deal with it.
Literally, just watching it just killed me inside. Just knowing that I used to remember going to high school and watching some of his stuff, or like elementary.
I mean, it is a part of why I'm actually in a real science right now, is because, like, growing up, that was one of the things I remember.
It also doesn't. It actually kind of doesn't surprise me, because if you're on the left and if you're a political figure, it's like they always come out with this BS, which is why, like, I actually want to invite as many Muslims as I possibly can to the country just to watch them, their own ideology rip itself apart. It's just like, hey, you thought the Christian conservatives are bad? You have no idea.
Well, the thing is, Bill Nye made himself a political figure on purpose. When he started saying that that all climate change deniers should be locked up.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same thing that happened with Neil deGrasse Tyson, where basically he went from being like super cool and totally okay, and then he got really arrogant for no reason, and was basically, if you do not accept what we call facts, as proven or not proven as they may be, as hard or as soft as the evidence may be, these are the facts and you must accept them.
Listen and believe.
Yeah, and it's basically, listen and believe, except for science, where, of course, there are some things like basic mathematical expressions that explain the universe, but I mean, that's not, long-term studies that are designed, show something completely different, and the corruption of scientific journals from the inside out of left-wing ideologues. If you've seen, I don't exactly remember the name of the paper, but Teal Deer, the infamous guy who refuses to produce videos shorter than 10 minutes when he actually gets into a topic.
Well, which is good, because I enjoy meteor videos.
Hello, Teal Deer. I'm going to make a very, very long video that you will click out of in 10 minutes.
But basically he basically talked about a study that was trying to prove that all gamers are sexist. And as he dug into the study, not only was basically their control was complete shit, he eventually disproved it by a singular line that didn't control for any factor. And then there was also the fact that it was on that edge of being illegal because it was a survey based in France and had a question about religious stuff, but because the group wasn't based in France, they could get away with it.
Huh.
Yeah, it was one of those studies that's just barely legal.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just, with all the science stuff, it just sort of wonders. I could just be called a climate skeptic just for saying, can you at least show me your fact and explain it a little better?
Yeah, that's something that happens to me sometimes.
Okay, it is apparently proven. I'm willing to accept that climate change is a thing. I'm willing to expect, but the thing is, it's happened before. It happened before mankind even existed.
Wait, are you actually trying to say that climate change isn't actually, major climate human-controlled climate change?
I know that humans can be a factor, but I'm not willing to say that humans driving cars are the only thing causing the planet to die.
Well, no one's saying that it's only humans driving cars. It's the whole fossil fuel, coal-based energy industry that's the cause of it.
I'm using the most common layman exclamation.
I've heard that we may be past the point of no return, so it won't matter what we do.
That's sort of where I am sitting as well. Sure, great, whatever. But what does this mean? What can we do? And
well, remember, every one of their figures said that the polar ice caps would have been gone completely 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago. The models have been proven wrong time and again. So,
yeah, it's almost like predicting the stock market. You can't.
Well, no, it's more like they're trying to be Nostradamus and predict the end of the world.
yeah. That's
they're overselling their case. I mean, I haven't looked at the data.
While there are trends that show that yes, this is a deteriorating situation. We're not there yet.
If we're at the point of no return, right, then no amount of green energy or hybrid cars is going to do anything. So any program that the government does to try to make those things work, that's just virtue signaling.
So only way to save humanity now is get your ass to Mars.
Yeah, pretty much. Which will probably screw that up too.
If they're right, then that's the outlook, right? And if the climate scientists are right, then there is no hope.
I'm just going to get my 5 mile per gallon car, upholster it in baby seal leather.
Yeah, and that's just that. But if they're wrong...
With polar bear hubcaps.
I mean, that's essentially that's where I am right now. If they're right, why should I care? If they're wrong, then why should I care?
Well, and also just to put it in more perspective, they predicted global cooling, global warming, and now they change it to climate change. So it's just an ongoing process, basically.
My main thing is, like, this is such a problem that is just going to be stretched out over so many decades and quite possibly centuries, that talking about, like, oh my God, it's this immediate thing that everyone
We
needs to
don't know
panic
what
about right
technology will
now.
be
It's
like
like,
in that time as well.
yeah.
All right, we're coming up on an hour, gentlemen. So let's go ahead and do something lighthearted to wrap up. Let's talk about based Wendy's.
Based Wendy's.
Yep, Sunday-based Wendy's. And then lots of Wendy porn / fan art.
Which
Yeah,
I'm seeing a lot of.
It's significant now.
Up in my feeds. But considering whoever's running the official Wendy's Twitter account, you are a god, and I love you.
Or goddess.
Or goddess. I mean, wow.
Wendy's has a super.
I actually do have a little lineup of tweets and retweets and tweets and replies from the official Wendy's Twitter account. It includes a promotional shot of a burger with the caption, "Our beef is way too cool to ever be frozen."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There was a reply, "Your beef is frozen and we all know it. Y'all know we laugh at your slogan, fresh never frozen, right? Like, you're really a joke." Wendy's replied to this guy, "Sorry to hear you think that, but you're wrong. We've only ever used fresh beef since we were founded in 1969. Reply, so you deliver it raw on a hot truck?" Wendy's reply, "Where do you store cold things that aren't frozen?" The reply to that, "Y'all should give up. McDonald's got you guys beat with a dope ass breakfast." That has nothing, not an argument, and completely irrelevant. So Wendy's response, "You don't have to bring them into this just because you forgot refrigerators existed for a second there."
I would like to say that because of this rise of Wendy's fan art, my redhead fetish is finally being realized.
It's like it's about time.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Well, considering that based artist Shadman has gotten involved in this.
I have no clue who Shadman is, but
Shadman is one of the most well-known hentai artists on the planet.
Which is strange because he isn't that good, but whatever.
I disagree. I think he's rather good, but I question his...
I wouldn't know.
I question his fetishes.
I don't know what hentai is specifically, but all I know is that there's a sex shop downtown that sells hentai DVDs, and one of them featured Donald Trump. So
wait, seriously? Because I want to see that. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah, no, I'll ask my coworker who bought the DVD if I could borrow it because I actually want to see that
for research purposes.
No, I just want to see it because it sounds hilarious.
Give me a second. I'm googling this. This I have to see.
Yeah, I think
it's just going to include so many octopus tentacles.
I think it's called Grab 'em by the Pussy or whatever. Yeah, I'm not kidding when I say that either. I think that is legitimately what it's called.
Are you sure it's just not grab them by the fisherwoman's pussy?
No, please no.
Grab him by the tentacles.
Wait, what? Wait, this can't... Okay, wow. Apparently, Donald Trump has a pop vinyl figure.
Oh, dude, I am totally fucking buying.
It's out of stock.
Ah, fuck. I really want... If someone is listening to this, as that, please contact me at twitter.com/awesome. I'd be willing to buy that off of you.
Let's
eBay it.
Wait, is it okay? I think that
actually, let me actually take a look at.
Did I find this?
Oh no, did you?
Oh my god, I think this is
on the chat.
I shall put it in the chat, but not in the. I can't put it in the Discord chat because Blop does not allow that. I will put it in the Hangout chat.
Yeah, that
just took a turn, didn't it?
It is
legitimately not credible.
That is the one thing I actually enjoy about Donald Trump: the fact that he's still
I clicked on that link, and I should not have clicked on that link.
So,
So you're saying, but you're downloading it right now.
you want to know the best part? It's due out on the 8th of November, 2016. Obviously, this is fake, but still.
That's terrific.
Oh my God! So Donald Trump pop Funko figures are actually $23.99 on Amazon.
There you go.
Yep. I
What
think
about
I
the- what
wanna.
about
I think I
Monkey
wanna.
Man Blowjob robot.
I think I wanna buy like 5 of these things and then just hide them around my school. Because I go to a very liberal school in Minneapolis.
I will give props to the person that created this fake anti-DVD. Because
No, no. Okay, so it is apparently real. My friend does own a copy of that.
well, I'm going to give him props, like, at least for this thread. I think this one in this thread is fake because the screenshots are a bunch of different hentai films.
Yeah, too many girls.
Yeah, all of which would have different art styles and everything else. But the fact that
You seem like a connoisseur.
that was come out on
Oh,
election
me?
day. The thing is, it was scheduled to come out on election day, which if you're Japanese, you call it erection day. IDVD.
Coincidence? I think not.
So this is multiple
Make it
levels
so
of
much
fun, and I have to applaud it.
Now you guys are happy that I'm here.
Of course, we are always happy that you're here.
We're all
Oh,
happy.
thank you for stroking my ego. It already is.
It's not the only thing you're stroking.
Oh,
Oh,
dude.
apparently there's Donald Trump sex porn videos on Pornhub. I'm not even going.
Oh, yeah. Brazzers did a parody scene. I think I saw.
All right, but anyway, we have to be coming up on an hour here, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
Okay.
So, closing thoughts, gentlemen, on anything that we've discussed tonight.
Yeah, make hentai great again.
I think that, in all seriousness, no, I think that there's a good chance that North Korea will not be here by the time we record this next show. Yeah.
Well, I certainly won't be here.
Why? Are you going to, like, die? Or...
Yes.
Oh, alright, well, love you, babe.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye.
It's called exams.
My thought is, if we could just make weed legal nationwide, maybe everyone can chill the hell out and let people speak, even though you disagree with them. Yeah. Look at you, Antifa, you crazy motherfuckers.
We just need to, open up the gun laws, right? Give everyone a handgun, and then it'll be like that episode of South Park.
Oh, unfortunately, it's too late to have that as a topic now, but it's something for y'all to take home. The left has abandoned Bernie officially, so keep that in mind.
They've abandoned Bernie? Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah,
I-
I mean, he lost, and he's never going to be president. Shrug. What are you going to do?
Okay, so you had some.
My thought. Sorry.
Right. I was asking if you had something to add.
Oh, sorry. So my thought are golden showers are the best showers. They're frankly the best. That's my thought.
Alright, cool. Thank you for the input.
Yep.
We're deplorable. We're not degenerate.
Well, my final thought is I'm waiting for the pay-per-view event with Ann Coulter and Yvette Pilarka in cat fights.
No thanks. Ann Coulter looks like a skeleton with a bunch of rubber stretched all over it.
Whatever.
Not attractive.
Hey, to each his own.
Yeah. All right. So, folks, on that note, we're going to call it a night. Thank you for tuning in to the Deplorable Batcave podcast. Till then, Chatelet and Free Kekistan.